Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Dockside at the Bay. I am Vinny here with Kim as always, and we are here to talk about an on-location episode of the Bay.
Yes.
And actually, we're not going to see Bay City at all for this episode. But before we get there, Kim, how are you doing?
Doing well. Just trying to. We're got a bit of a cold snap happening in my neck of the woods right now. Just trying to wrestle with that, and had to break out the big heavy coat today. First time for that. So, yeah. Other than that, though, I wish I was on a beach right now in Puerto Rico.
Yes, I completely agree with you. I've never been to Puerto Rico myself, but I would love to go and visit it and see what all the hubbub is about.
All the locations that the Bay gets to do, honestly, it's like I want to go to there.
Yes.
Let's be real. Like, come on, let's
and like Pete Garrett and Stretch Limo. The rooms are ready for them, and
right.
Think good to see you again, Mr. Garrett. Like
right.
That's what I want.
I'd love to be treated to that maybe someday. I'll manage that.
But until then, we are here talking all about The Bay, which is a multiple-time Emmy Award-winning web series. As always, you can find The Bay: The Beginning on Amazon Prime or Prime Video. The Bay itself, once you get to the regular seasons, you can get seasons 1 through 6 on Peacock, 1 through 8 on Prime Video. No. 1 through 7 on Prime Video, and then 8 and 9 are currently on Tubi and Pop TV or Popstar, excuse me.
Yeah.
And they're running season 9 daily on Popstar. You can find it a lot of places. Let me put it that way.
Yes, it's accessible on a lot of different platforms. Tubi right now is where I'm viewing it. Aside from the occasional ad, it's not too bad, and all the seasons are there at your disposal, which is great. So,
that's great. Okay, I've been doing Prime Video, so I'm giving them royalties for $2 an episode because I don't like ads, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But either way, this show has been fantastic, and now we're going down to Puerto Rico. As always, we know that Pete, Caleb, and RJ are Bay City Avengers, and they are following the private jet that was chartered by Adam. Adam, and it landed in Puerto Rico. And now, Nardo hooked Pete up with one of the old Bay City detectives, and now they're on the hunt.
Yes, they, in the last episode, we had it where they were kind of setting up for this big journey, and they kept on hinting at it. And now we're starting on that road. We journeyed to Puerto Rico from Bay City. The whole episode is centered in 2 different locations in Puerto Rico, but all taking place there, which, I love the fact that the Bay is able, and I've said this before, but I love the fact that they're able to just do those like shoots on location, that they have the budget and the capability to just bring the show to other places, because I think that's so rare. You don't see that on network, soaps right now. I mean, they don't really have that capacity nearly as much as they used to back in the day. So it's another soap trope that's kind of cool to see play out on the Bay, just because of the way they're formatted, and they have the ability to do stuff like this. So
you're exactly right. And while the Bay City Avengers are getting down there by jet, and which is powered by jet fuel, we are powered by W Energy, which is our friends of the show, I should say. And W Energy is jitterless caffeine energy, and it's clean energy. So if you're worried about the jitters, shakes, or what have you, you don't have to worry about this with the W Energy blends. It is made, the energy drinks are made from the fruit extract, so it is clean energy. It's not a lot of chemicals. It's natural. They also have a lot of hydration blends, which is what I go for. I favor the hydration blend. I don't do a lot of energy drinks except when I have to get up at 4 a.m. and then I'm not going to bed until almost midnight because of podcast. Then I will take the occasional energy drink. And when I do, it's W Energy. You can use our promo code Suds Media at WDUBBY.GG. Use that promo code Suds Media for 10% off your purchase. Again, that's WDUBBY.GG. Promo code Suds Media for 10% off your purchase. Okay, so while they're checking into their hotel room and getting down there, we see kind of the flip side of what our heroes are going after, because we finally see the compound that Adam is holding Vivian, Daniel, and Tamara.
Yeah. And can we talk about the intro to that whole? So, I mean, when the episode opens, we've got this music playing in the background, and it looks like she's in like a luxury hotel or something. It looks like a very nice setup. And then the record scratches, and you realize where she's at. And I loved that effect. I love that they just went from, kind of nice, beachy, fun, you're not really sure where she's at. It seems like it's a nice place. And then the music stops. They cut to the album, the record playing, and it's I loved that detail. I thought that was a great way to just set like the eerie sort of tone for where she.
Another part of that is from Vivian's standpoint. She's looking out she's waking up. She's looking out the window or out the sliding glass door, and Adam has his back to her. And she at first thinks it's Pete because they're identical twins. So there's even more mind games going on at that point.
Yeah. But what a way to just kind of kickstart, this location that they've got going and everything like that. Just showcasing how, yes, it's in a very pretty place, but creepy stuff is about to happen here. Record scratch. Everything is not as it seems, and everything is not.
Exactly. And I like the use of the record scratching because it kind of jolts you back to reality. As well, jolts Vivian back to reality. Because, she just gave birth. She's thinking that, she's home and everything in this, or on vacation in this nice luxury hotel. But it's like, that's the shattering of the dreams.
I mean, they do acknowledge that she's been there for a bit, and I appreciated that because let's face it. I mean, the actress, I'm blanking on her name right now currently. Thank you.
Tran or whatever.
I mean, she looks pretty good considering, but it takes a lot to make that woman look bad. Let's be real. She is absolutely stunning. But just the fact that, she wakes up and she looks like, she's got her little nightgown on. I'm like, okay, she just gave birth and she looks like that. But then they do go say that, there's been some time that has passed. She has been able to rest. So at least they give us a little bit. It's not like she just woke up fresh from giving. I mean, she did just have the baby, but it wasn't like it was last night. I feel like they did buy in, put a little bit of time in there to just kind of indicate like, hey,
I have to question that though, because theoretically speaking, she did just give birth, let's say 3 or 4 days ago.
Yeah, at least it was 3. At least they acknowledged that though. It wasn't like they just like showed her, getting off because they hint at like her in the private jet recuperating on the way there. They at least build in a little bit of time, so it's a little bit.
Yeah, I would still say she's got to have that baby weight on there. But I mean, either way, because you could tell when she's getting out of bed, she's still sore. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
She's still suffering the after effects of giving birth.
She is up. Yeah, she's up walking around, but you can tell she's not herself. But I will say, considering even if it was 3 or 4 days ago, she does look pretty darn good, all things considered.
Absolutely. And Adam, to his point, is trying to give her breakfast, trying to kind of keep her strengths up.
For a villain, he is, wanting to make sure that she gets fed. He does. It's so funny because he says almost immediately when he comes in the room, our baby. He corrects her. and he's trying to take ownership of, obviously it's Pete's and her son, and he's our baby. He says it multiple times, and it just adds to that eeriness, and it just adds to that creepiness so much, because okay, he's making sure she's getting breakfast and that no one is like manhandling her, and that she's being kind of looked after, so to speak, but he is still so sinister and saying like, well, this is our baby, and hinting at what he has in store. It's such a, I can go on and on about how great a villain he is in this, like the way that they've written villain. Because
what I really liked though was if it were up to me, and you have somebody playing dual roles like that, because we did see Adam in Bay City, having that brief interaction with Liana. So we know that he can do the American accent. So what would have been more of a mind screw would be if Adam put on that American accent, maybe to cover his tattoo, so that making Vivian think that he's Pete.
That would have added a whole other layer to it. That would have been really cool to see.
But I did like how they differentiated right off the bat that, where we saw the record scratch, where we saw the differences and everything.
Yeah. Because even Daniel has that moment too, where he sees him and you're Pete, but you look like Pete, but you're more dangerous Pete. Like it does, him being shocked into realizing that there's this guy walking around that looks exactly like Pete is, that's cool. It would have been an interesting layer though if he had like tried to impersonate him, or at the start. That would have been pretty cool to see play out for sure.
And the reason why I say that is now Pete obviously shared with Vivian that Adam is his identical twin. So she knew, she kind of had that inkling once everything took place. When he walked in with the tray, she was like, Adam, what are you doing? Where's my baby? Yada, yada, yada. With Daniel and Tamara, they didn't know any of this.
No, they had no concept. So
he could have easily walked in as Pete, and say, hey, guys, I'm sorry I got to keep you here, or something. Just kind of put some...
prolong it a little bit. That would have been a cool twist, for sure. It would have been it made for a really cool reveal.
And I'm not going to criticize Gregory Martin or his skills at all. I'm just saying what could have been a little more, but anyway, what we got is fantastic.
That is a soap trope in itself, is the twin impersonating the other. We've seen that happen, multiple times. And it's just been a cool opportunity for Christos to just show his stuff even more, trying to play the twin who's playing, but regardless, there is some amazing lines that he gets to say in this villain mode. And I feel like it must be a fun thing to play as an actor when you just get to play into that bad guy, awful, just playing a totally different character and being able to just bring in all these amazing, like, regaining your scruples. I know you're still regaining your scruples. Like, just be happy you woke up. Not everybody does. There were so many lines that I just jotted down, and I was just that's good. It's good dialogue, and it's just it's funny. It's sinister. It's great. I just thought the writing for that was just amazing.
I mean, here's what it has. I've said it before on this show, anyways, but I've said it numerous times in that even with wrestling, when I talk about wrestling, there are multiple people that prefer to play bad guys, that prefer to play heels, because it's so easy. It's so easy to get people to hate you because of, put downs or whatever you're trying to do to make somebody upset, pissed off, ready to rip your head off, whatever, that you're able to have those edgy one-liners that really cut deep. Whereas as a babyface, as a good guy, you have to worry about people's feelings. You have to worry about, how you come off
and how they're going to see you. Yeah.
You can't say something bad like that. Like, I can't picture Pete.
No.
Now, these soap operas are a little different because you're not dealing with people who are good guys and bad guys. While you have them, everybody has a shade of gray on, on soap operas. So you can see in the moment Pete going up to Adam, who's his arch enemy, and kind of having this edgy one-liner, like "I'm going to cut your head off" or whatever.
Right. But just some of the words coming out of his mouth and what he's saying. I mean, as he's sinister, he's also funny, which I can appreciate. You know,
Yes.
he does have like a few, like just you could just see that like Christos was having fun playing it. You could just tell.
You could see the conceit just oozing off of him. Like, we know what's so ironic is that while Pete Garrett is a very rich person in the U.S., it looks to me like this is no Prince and Pauper type deal, because Adam has his own compound in
that too.
Puerto Rico. So we saw that he's been making money and taking money and closing bank accounts and all this other stuff in Pete's name. So it's not a Prince and Pauper deal. They both are very, very rich.
Yeah, and it almost makes it so that he's more infallible this way. Like,
absolutely.
Now he can't use his resources to just like kind of outmaneuver, because this guy's got equal resources and is just as capable of, spiriting people off to like, his own pride and hiring these mercenaries. Which, can we talk about we get to see Dreadlocks woman again.
Yes.
We also get to see, I'm blanking on his name, but the head mercenary, Logan, is that his name?
I think so. Yeah.
But getting I just appreciate how they are they're not typical soap villains. They're not like just the gorgeous, snarky sort of, they're unique, they're colorful not just in terms of her hair, but just in general. Just even we just got a quick little sequence with them, but it's like these are scary, unique, distinct villains that this guy is surrounding himself with. It makes it just pop more. They're not just typical pretty soap people. They're just
they're not monkeys. They're literally there to, you can believe that these are actual mercenaries, and these are people that and we saw it. Adam hired, but doesn't fully trust. They're not friends, since he just I don't think he actually shot the guy, but the guy that manhandled Vivian.
Oh yeah, but that threatening to was when he straight up and the gun goes. I mean, you can't help but jump when you see that. Oh. I mean, it's clear that he has no reservations about just taking someone out because they look at him the wrong way, or because they're too. What was it? The reason why he capped that other guy? What, he was too short?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he doesn't. It doesn't phase him at all. But genuinely frightening moment when and that guy, manhandling, going after Vivian. I appreciate that he was trying to draw the line and say, well, you can't touch her. I told you not to touch her. Therefore, I am going to. But yeah, that escalated quickly.
It escalated very quickly. I agree. But what I feel is great is that these are all, like I said, they're all believable people. Like, the one thing that you get used to in watching soap operas is that that there is for example, with GH, you always knew Helena Cassadine had her boy toys and her pool boys, or her flavor of the month, or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
But you also knew that they were very expendable. So if Luke Spencer came upon them, there would be, or Jason Morgan or whatever, there would be no hesitation to shoot the person, because he's expendable. He's a day player.
Yes.
What the Bay does great is every character, I don't want to say every character has a story, but every character has a purpose there.
Yes.
And while there are expendable characters, as we've seen, they're all there to help elevate the lead character in the scene. Whether it's them just shooting the guy in cold blood just because he was short. That shows the ruthlessness, the sociopathy, or whatever you want to say about Adam. And it grew his stock in that character.
Yes. And it's just, it fleshes out the arc all the more. Just having these characters in there. They're not just, just the random, you've got this like band of just crazy people that are surrounding this crazy guy, and it just adds an extra uniqueness and layer to what could be just kind of a typical, soapy kidnapping tropey sort of story. It just adds depth to it, in my opinion. And it was cool to see just like these folks that are just kind of right off. They're going to be expendable because they're mercenaries and they're not going to be, they're day player types, but they at least they're colorful. Again, not just because of her hair, and just different and unique, and just kind of made the scene pop all the more, in my opinion. Just having these like crazy ragtag band of folks running around wreaking havoc. It kind of reminded me of like almost like the Joker or something like that, like a Batman as villain or something like that.
It almost feels like we're gearing up for a big fight, which we are.
Yes.
But at the same time, if you're getting ready to gear up for a big fight, you might need some really good threads of the WWE. So if you're interested, with the holidays coming up and you have a WWE fan in your house, you can use our code because we are an affiliate of the WWE shop.
Ladies and gentlemen, Suds and Sports Circle Media is an official affiliate of WWE Shop. If you want to buy stuff for the new AAA Mega Champion and WWE Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio, or the classic Stone Cold Steve Austin with his Austin 316 merchandise, or merch for Raw is War, SmackDown, or any other WWE show, just go to wrestlingmerch.suds-media.com or scan the QR code for our affiliate link. You can either go to wrestlingmerch.suds-media.com or scan the QR code on the screen, and you'll be taken to WWE Shop using our affiliate link. And anything you buy using our affiliate link, we earn commission.
That's right, folks. Use that QR code or wrestlingmerch.suds-media.com for your holiday shopping for all WWE fans in your household. And we earn commission. It helps us support the network. And with that said, go on.
I was just going to say, on the fight, can we talk about when we have it where we finally have Adam meeting up with Tamara and Daniel, and that punch that he landed, oh my goodness, how realistic did that? I mean, that's just another moment where you just kind of jump out. You're like, oh my God, like just all the detail there, the makeup, it looked so just, it looked like that really, really hurt. It looked so real. He just reaches back and hits him with the
he just kind of,
I couldn't, I just made a huge note when I saw that. I was like, my God, that looked really real and real painful, and just how did they shoot that without him getting seriously hurt?
You're exactly right. I completely agree with you. And I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously Hollywood, you know how to pull the punch.
Just a very impressive. And the fact that he like lands it backwards, where he just like, doesn't even, it looked like something out of a cartoon where it's just like, just whacks him square in the face. But I was just blown away by it. I was like, oh my God, that looked, talk about a cliffhanger too. I mean, it's like, we're aware that they're trapped and everything like that, but just ending it on that note, I was just like, oh my gosh, that was brutal.
Well, and the fact that he comes in to, first of all, could we just please, could we just give some props to Tamara? She's freaking in her bathrobe.
Of course. Bloodstained bathrobe on Ninja Tam.
Yes. And I mean, why couldn't she just, Ninja Tamara come out and kick the shit out of people?
I was hoping that it would kind of, and I have to say, okay, even disheveled, just seeing your boyfriend get shot, you're covered in probably his blood, you're in a robe. She still looked freaking gorgeous. I'm like, come on now. You've been held hostage in this freaking cabin. Yeah, they tried to make her hair look a little bit, but I'm just like, oh, come on. Look, this is a little, she still looks pretty good. And Daniel, all he did was mess up his hair a little bit. He still looked handsome, even after he got the, hit to the nose.
And Adam comes in and gives her a dress and says something. I can't remember the exact line he said, but it was
when he was all, I know you're used to working without clothes, one of those lines that's just sinister. Oh, like oh, just gets under your skin. It's like, you know, and it just shows that he knows so much about the Garretts. He knows the entire, like, I mean, the fact that he was throwing even, what did he say? You're the black sheep that no one ever wanted, or something like that. And, you know, he's calling Daniel Danny Boy and all of this, and just, it's clear they know nothing about him. They're blindsided by the fact that he looks so much like Pete, and he knows like their family history. It's just so eerie, just the way that
so obviously Adam targeted the Garrett family. You know, taking Vivian, taking Daniel, taking Tamara. Why was Avery spared? Why was, you know, obviously Sarah was shot, and Evan was shot, and Damien was shot.
Couldn't get all the actors out to Puerto Rico. Maybe there's a scheduling conflict.
Yeah. I want to know the why. Like, we obviously know he took Vivian because of Pete. Okay, that's a given. But what do Daniel and Tamara have to do with it? Is it just for witnesses for this supposed wedding that's going to happen? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm spoiled.
You know, that could be leading in, you know, and also just he knows that, I'm pretty sure it's like, you know, he could have rounded up any of, you know, the Garrett family or anyone in that circle, and it still would have had the same effect. You know, at the end of the day, Pete is going to go after and find and search for the folks that he loves. And he knows that whoever he brought into the mix, if it had been Avery and he'd spared Damien's life and put the two of them on the island or something like that, it would have, you know, same kind of story. It still would have lured Pete out.
Right.
Maybe it was just a matter of convenience. He just, you know, happened to snag, you know, just like, hey, okay, we'll grab this one, and we'll just kind of, you know, at the end of the day. But, you know, there was that one. Oh,
it's
sorry.
almost like they left Avery behind because she's the nurse and can help people, you know.
That's true. That could be part of the intention, because, I mean, we already have it where she'd be like, you know, on it immediately trying to help Daniel, also help Vivian, considering she just gave birth. You'd think that they would bring a nurse into the mix, but maybe they just feel like it's not warranted because of what they have planned. It's, you know, there's a lot of factors there. But there was that one haunting line where Tamara and Daniel are just kind of talking about, you know, in the cabin, could be all the Garretts. When they were talking about being in the private jet and Vivian being passed out, and, you know, all the Garretts could be, you know, in the same situation that we are. And it's just such a freaky thought, you know.
Right, because they don't know. They're just locked away in that one room. And I have to laugh because with Daniel kind of showed a little bit of his comic relief in this episode, because as he's yelling at the door, somebody help us, somebody help. And Tamara's like, Daniel, nobody's around, nobody's going to hear you. Why do you keep yelling? He's like, because if I'm not yelling and somebody's walking by, they're not going to know we're in here. So I'm going to keep doing it. And she's annoyed at it.
And I like this line too, do nothing. Not something I'm particularly good at.
Right. Yeah.
He had some great, and even just acknowledging the fact that, like, you know, someone could be walking by and potentially hear him, but he knows it's not going to happen, you know. And it would be like so typical of a soap to have someone, like, you know, walk past and not hear, or, you know, it's just something like that. Just drop into that trope. He does still get those little one-liners in there too. He, you know, obviously we have, you know, if we were like awarding like best dialogue and best one-liner in an episode, I think that Adam would win, but Daniel would come in second place.
Of course. And I'm just thoroughly enjoying the show, you know, this story that they're putting on. You know, obviously Pete's on another adventure. This time they have RJ and Caleb. And
the Avengers too. We had their whole kind of sequence. And okay, I have to say it with RJ, between his wardrobe and some of the dialogue that he got, I swear it's like they were trying to make him like 14 years old.
A little younger, yes.
I mean, his just enthusiasm about the room key. I get my own room. He's and
it's also a product. It's also a product of being raised because he obviously wasn't raised in Bay City with the Garretts. So now that he's, let's say, 19, 20 years old, he's experiencing this travel with Pete and this world travel right now for the first time. And like, and God love him, the fact that he, wanted to go on here to help Pete, to help Caleb. He's not as invested as Pete and Caleb.
No,
Caleb's husband. That's why they're there. So I could kind of see how Caleb is kind of like, when he's trying to get his bag off, and he's like, "No, I'm not okay."
Oh yeah, no, because you could tell. I mean, he's Caleb the entire time. I mean, he's even like, forgive me for interrupting, but we need to he's like trying to keep everything on track. He is scared out of his head. He's freaked out. But it was just, I don't know, seeing RJ just kind of in that, it almost felt like, I almost wish they hadn't sore-assed him that much. I almost wish that it was like an actual teenager just kind of running around with these guys. Because he, like, a little 14-year-old or something like that. It's just because, I don't know, his whole demeanor, his whole attitude was just so kid-like in that moment. And I was just thinking, like, what if he actually was like a little dude who's just kind of following them around?
Honestly, it's almost like they should have, and I'm going to say this, and I don't want people to take it the wrong way. They should have never done the BLM story with him, because it almost gave him a more mature level to, the facts by Colton and all this other stuff, and he's marching and all this, and don't get me wrong, it was real shit that happened in the world, but it almost feels to me like they got RJ to this maturity level, and then now the next season or whatever it is, the next season, now he's back down. Like, he's still in the nursing program, he's still at that age, but it's almost like
it's a little uneven now. And it makes you wonder too. I mean, because let's be real, the Adam story has probably been sketched out from the beginning. Obviously, the COVID and everything being layered in, that was not. So it was probably their intention to kind of keep RJ kid-like, innocent, that kind of deal. But, everything forced their hand, and they decided that they were going to bring in the real world stuff. And that's where we kind of wound up. So it is kind of funny, though, just seeing, like, it's like he kind of switches on a dime to almost just being like a little kid in a hotel who's like on his own for the first time. It was like, Home Alone vibes a little bit. It's like you almost expect him to be like sitting in a room, like ordering video games, like on demand and or something like that. Well, but obviously he is there to help Pete, too. And he is concerned. But we did even have that kind of funny moment where he's just kind of like, he's all like giddy with the room key. The actor was kind of playing into that a little bit. And I just thought that was funny and kind of cute.
And I also liked how RJ asks Pete, okay, what do you need me to do? And he's like, stay behind. He's like, because Pete's telling him, like, this is dangerous. I don't want you to get hurt. You're still a young kid. You're young, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, no, this is my family. I'm here. I'm going to help.
At the end of the day, he is there because he wants to help, obviously, track down and help Pete in any way that he can. Yes. And, it's with Pete, something about, his current, and now granted, he's in adventure mode, but he was kind of reminding me almost of like John Blackwell, Lone Wolf, almost a little bit. When he's in the hotel room, like sipping on the scotch, taking these calls, it was like he was channeling John Black a little bit, like, man of mystery, trying to like keep a lock on everything and, drinking to cope and I don't know. I was just kind of getting that vibe. And then when he gets the text too from Cordero Castro, the detective that was getting introduced, looks like you arrived. It's like, okay, yes, he is a detective, but that's kind of a creepy way to start a conversation.
I think it was more along the lines of an icebreaker to be like, okay, I'm your guy.
But looks like you arrived.
I mean, when a Garrett lands in Puerto Rico, like, people know that's.
Yeah, no, I know, but that was just kind of a funny, like, introductory text to that, and then he's like, Pete's like, yeah, we'll meet up, and then the guy's like, check, or something like that. So
he's like right down to business.
Yeah, Yeah, because he's gonna obviously, be looking to this guy to help him navigate this whole situation, and obviously he's got Bay City connections, so we're gonna get introduced to this new detective guy. It's a little bit of a cliffhanger too.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see more of that in the next episode.
Yeah. And more of, just Pete's or not Pete, Adam's sort of, even just like the scenes that he had with Vivian, where, just our baby and everything that he's hinting at, and maybe I'll have you for dessert. Creepy, disturbing. And what he's thinking. It's like, I want to marry her and raise this baby as our own, and like in tropey, creepy, soap villain fashion, damsel in distress, that whole bit. But just him strutting around too with the cigar and just kind of smiling. It's so classic soap villain, but with an added layer, worked so well. And it leaves you wanting to know what's next. And there was a lot of intensity going on. And poor Vivian, her acting too, when she's like, just where's my son, and like fighting back and trying her best, and then just getting, the woman in dreads just dragging her off like that. It's like, oof, all of our heroes.
Oh, you're exactly right. No, you are exactly right. And right now I feel like it's just amping up, and it's just season 7 is absolutely fantastic, and we're going to be cruising right along this season, throughout the holidays, into next year. But I'm telling you right now, Gregory Martin has got it going on. Like, this show has, even if you start at season, like, obviously I recommend everybody start Bay at the beginning and binge all the way up. That's why the hashtag is Binge the Bay. But even if you start with this season, with episode 7, you can get right into it, because it's got that hook.
It'll grab you. It'll grab you for sure. You definitely want to see what's, going to happen next, and again, short runtime. This episode flew by again. And and now it's leaving us wanting more, which is great. So,
and we will have more for you, so that'll be next week. But for now, we've kind of covered everything for this episode. And by the way, folks, if you want to help support the network, right down below us, you have the little box with a $sign in it, where it either says super chat or super thanks. Click that button, donate, send some money our way, and that just goes to support the network either way. But folks, remember, all this stuff that we do is for you. If you want to help us out, go to merch.suds-media.com, and that's our merch shop. You can also find some of the merchandise on our YouTube page. The holidays are upon us, whether it's a shirt or a hat or a mug, or even one of these cute little guy cuddle buddies right here. Any of these are available on merch.suds-media.com. with any of the show logos on it as well, whether it's Dockside at the Bay. We've got the Doc F inside, which you see behind us. You've also got Suds News, Suds and Squared Circle Media. We've got Suds-O-Mania for life, the SWO shirts. So there's a lot of good stuff up there. And if you're looking for a backpack, if you're looking for a bag, if you're looking for a mug, or even remember, the doggy bandanas or the doggy cuddle buddies are up there as well. And if you purchase either one of those products, whether it's a doggy bandana or a doggy cuddle buddy, the proceeds from those sales go directly to Samantha's friends to help the service doggies out there, whether it's rehoming them or training them. But folks, we are out of time. Kim, where can everybody find you?
So I am Misfit8690 on Twitter, as well as on Instagram, and a Little Misfit 52 on YouTube. So feel free to follow me and hit me up there for if you want to chat about soaps or anything else that strikes your fancy.
All right, fantastic. And as always, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook at Vinny Suds. If you want to do our Network X account, which is where I normally post from, it's at Suds Media. Instagram and Threads is at Suds and Squared Circle. Also, we've got our TikTok at Suds_media. But for anything, you can go to our Linktree, which is linktree.suds-media.com, or just go to our YouTube channel, go to our channel, suds-media.com. And that's where you can find all of our stuff, whether it's Suds News, Dockside at the Bay, freestyling on Real American Freestyle. And we got a lot more coming your way in the new year, so stay tuned.
We do.
All right. So, folks, for Kim, I'm Vinny. We will see you next time as we go Dockside at the Bay. Have a great night, everybody.
Take care, everyone.